What is up, guys? Happy Friday. We are back. Welcome to another episode of That's Right, I Said It. Please hit that subscribe button. I am almost to 200 subscribers. I woke up this morning, was like, whoa, 198. Sweet. Almost there. I get a lot of comments saying, hey, your videos are helping me. I'm going through this or I'm going through that. So if that's you and if you've watched more than one of my videos, all I ask is, listen, it's a free service. Just take 2 seconds, hit that subscribe button. You don't ever have to worry about it again, and it really helps me out, okay? So I could tell last night that my taper is in full effect again. I'm down to 10 grams. I did not sleep very well. I felt very restless last night. I was having trouble getting comfortable. I was going from one position to another position, like, well, this doesn't feel good. Let me turn over this way. Lay in that position for 2 or 3 minutes, and I'd start getting kind of hot and sweaty and like, oh, well, this isn't comfortable. And I roll back over the other way. Okay, this feels good. Yeah, this is good. This is good. 3 minutes later, oh, well, this doesn't feel good either now, and then I just having trouble, getting comfortable. Any sleep I did get was kind of restless sleep. Like I was kind of, a lot of it, I was kind of teetering in and out. But that's what happens when you go really aggressive with your taper. I was, for the last month and a half or so since my son has been born, I've probably been, up somewhere around, 15, 20, sometimes 20 grams, maybe even more of kratom per day. To be completely honest, I was taking different sort of kratom products, including kratom sodas, kratom teas. I was spending some time off of work because my son was born. So it's one of those where my kratom use had just kind of run rampant. So I don't know exactly how much I was taking, to be honest with you, but it was definitely more than 10 grams per day. And my body is telling me that right now. My tolerance was definitely up here, because we talked about yesterday how if your tolerance is up here and you start your taper down here, if your tolerance was for 25 grams and you mainly are taking like 25 grams, you're up here, and then you start a taper at 10 grams, you're going to have this much withdrawal, which is pretty significant, right? And so you would think, oh wow, you had 10 grams on board, your withdrawal shouldn't have been that bad. But it's relative. It's relative to how much you were taking prior to cutting down to that 10 grams. And the last couple of days, I've dropped a couple of capsules each day. I've taken, ever since I've been back on this taper, which has been for the last 4 days, I've dropped at least 1.5 grams or 2 grams each day. So that's pretty significant. What you're supposed to do is take about the same amount for about at least 2 or 3 days, let your body readjust to that amount, then lower it a little bit. And at that point, if you do it that way, you shouldn't have quite as much discomfort as I was feeling last night. But the only problem with that is it prolongs your taper. And I'm not into prolonging a taper. I want to try to get it kind of done and over with as much as possible. So I'm one of those people that I don't mind making it a little uncomfortable on myself. I don't want to do a cold turkey right now because I have a lot of responsibility in my life. I'm a parent of 2. I'm a husband. I have to get up and go to work every day. I have parents who are elderly at this point. I have to help them from time to time with things. So I have to be on my P's and Q's. I have a lot of responsibility as an adult. And so, plus a brand new baby at home who's literally 2 months old today. So with that, I wasn't interested in doing a cold turkey. I know what a cold turkey feels like. I've done cold turkey withdrawals multiple times in my past, not just from kratom, but from heavy use of Vicodin and Percocet, and also MIT-45s, which is kratom. So I know what the cold turkeys feel like. I know it's doable, but I'm not doing it. Not right now. I'm going to do a taper method, and I'm pretty aggressive with my taper, but I'm definitely starting to feel it. My daytimes, I haven't noticed too much as far as my daytimes. Maybe slightly lower mood, slightly lower energy. I haven't noticed any issues with my bowels. I haven't had loose bowels or anything like that, but I have noticed that things are flowing a little more freely. When I'm in heavy use of Kratom, I'm lucky to get 1 poop per day. Let's get honest. I'm usually pretty good about getting 1 poop because I do exercise, I do drink a lot of water, and I eat very fibrous foods, lots of fruits, lots of vegetables. So I usually am good about getting 1 poop per day. But today I've had a couple, and that's pretty rare for me. And I know that that has to do with the fact that I've chopped my Kratom dose down a lot, and that's something that happens to me quite often when I go into these, you know, pretty heavy tapers. So anyway, still good for now. I will keep you guys updated. I did not sleep well last night, and like I just said, I've got a 2-month-old at home, so sleep is hard to come by anyway these days. So I'm probably gonna sit right here for a couple of days at the 10 grams to kind of give my body a little time to adjust and, you know, get to sleeping okay on that. I say that, but then I'm one of those people that I'm go hard or go home. I'm all or nothing. I'm 100% or I'm no percent. That's just the type of guy I am. I have a very extremist mindset and sort of personality. So I say that now, but I wouldn't be shocked if come tomorrow I'm like, well, let me just take 1 less capsule. You try to get it down quicker, you know. I don't know. We'll see. But I'll update you guys next week on what I end up doing regarding that. So listen, I want to read a couple of people's comments, because I'm getting a lot of people commenting on my videos and saying, you know, that it's helpful to them. And I think a lot of that is just, you know, that feeling that you're not alone. You know what I mean? It feels good, and it feels empowering to know that there are other people down in the trenches with you, going through the same things, and you can share ideas and practices with them, theories, all those things. And I think that's one of the reasons that the channel really helps people. But I wanted to read a few comments. At Marcus Mahoney says, I take 900 capsules a week, and I'm trying so hard to taper down. Your videos really do help me. I just want to feel like I'm not alone and that I can do this. I know I'm taking way too much. I really want to learn how to taper down. Marcus, thank you for your comment, my dude. This is something I've talked about on this channel a lot, and the fact that there are levels to this shit. And I know you said in your comment, I know I'm taking way too much. So I'm not gonna sit and like beat you over the head with, you're taking way too much, 900 capsules, what the hell is wrong with you? I'm not gonna do that, because you said it right here. You realize you're taking too much, right? At first I thought it was a typo. I'm like, did he mean 90 capsules? And then he just kind of added an extra 0. I was like, wait a minute, is that right? You know, when I first read his comment, because that is a substantial amount. But then he commented on one of my previous videos, and then I got a comment from the same guy, Marcus, on my next video, which was the one I did yesterday, and he said the same thing, 900 capsules. So I don't think this is a typo. I think this gentleman is legitimately up to 900 capsules. Just to give you a little perspective, I'm on 10 grams per day, and I'm taking, right now, I'm on 10 grams per day, and the size capsules that I take, that equals about 15 capsules per day, which is a little over 100 capsules a week. So this guy's taking 900 capsules per week versus I'm taking 100 capsules per week. That kind of gives you some perspective to how much you're taking. Okay, so Marcus, I'll say this. I've never been up to an amount that high of Kratom. This is one of those things where I can't help but say maybe you should go to the doctor. Maybe you should talk to you know, a specialist in this, or go see a physician. I'm not a doctor, so I really hesitate to give any sort of medical advice on this channel. But this is an amount where, you know, and I know Kratom kind of has a ceiling, right? And if you're taking that much, I mean, you're looking at over 100. How much is that? I mean, that's 9 times what I'm taking. So if I'm taking 10 grams per day, you know, you have to be up to around 90, 100 grams per day, right? That's pretty significant. I mean, I've heard of people doing it. I've never been up even close to that much, so I don't really know if because there's a ceiling with kratom and you can only get so high off of kratom and it's only a partial agonist. I don't know if that also means that your withdrawals can't be but so bad. You know what I mean? Maybe if you can't get but so high, then your withdrawals can't get but so bad. You know, that may be true, but I'm not sure, to be completely honest with you. I definitely can tell you this: if you're taking 900 capsules per week, it's certainly not going to hurt you to take 800 capsules per week. You know, it's certainly not going to hurt you to get down to 700 capsules per week, or 600 or 500 or whatever it is. I know you said you really want to taper down. Bro, I think it's just start somewhere. You know, if you're taking that much, I definitely wouldn't recommend a cold turkey. Like I said, I've never been that high. Maybe you guys can comment and jump in and let this guy know, you know, let Marcus know if you've known someone before that was using that much. You know, jump in and let him know and say, hey, I knew somebody who was using this and here's what they did and blah, 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 blah. Because I don't have any experience with that specifically. But I will say you got to start somewhere. So if this means that you're taking, say, 90 capsules per day or 100 capsules per day, whatever it is, if you break that down into daily, break that down and say, okay, well, if I'm taking 90 capsules per day and I'm taking, let's say, 20 capsules at a time, take 15. Start tomorrow and take only 15 capsules at a time. You know, make it to where you're only taking, I don't know, 75 or 80 per day, and see where that gets you. See how you feel. It might be uncomfortable for a little bit, but you know, there are some things that you can do to kind of help with that. You know, look it up, Google it. I'm not going to go real deep into it in this video because there's other things I want to get into and address. But if you go a few days, my man, and it's just not doable for you, and your withdrawals are too severe, at an amount like this, in general, at least for me, my past opiate use, I've always just kind of done it on my own. And yeah, it sucked. I mean, the times that I did cold turkey really sucked really bad. I'm not going to lie about that, but it is doable, at least at the amounts that I was using consistently. With an amount like this, I don't know. I can't really say. So I would say try it for a few days. Just make sure you're chopping it down at least by a few capsules, you know, every couple of days, and see if you can make some headway that way and knock that amount down, you know, a little more significantly. And if you're not able to do that, bro, I don't normally recommend that people go see a doctor over stuff like this, because I never really have been a person to do it. I've always just been a person to do it on my own, but I've never been to this high of an amount either. So I would suggest, if you're not able to have any success with tapering after a week or two, man, go see a doctor. Get some help with that, bro. That's you know, I don't like to sugarcoat things on here, and there are people that need opiates and that have chronic severe pain that they deal with, and they take opiates every day and will have to take opiates every day until the day they die. So I don't ever come on here and campaign against opiates or against kratom. And you know, because kratom's been beneficial to a lot of people. It's kept a lot of people who are really, really heavy, hard, like heroin users, fentanyl users. It's kept people like that, you know, on something milder, a plant like kratom. So it's helped many people in many different ways. So I'm not here to pass judgment on anyone for that, but I do have a concern for how much that is. And this is a situation where when the amount gets that high, you may need to go see a doctor, bro. And just let them know, hey, I've been heavily abusing this kratom. I don't know if you know much about it. It's kind of like an opiate, you know. That's the thing. This is not, you know, regulated by the FDA, so I'm sure it's on some physicians' radar, and I'm sure some physicians know about it. And I know people have gone to official detox for kratom use before, especially at higher amounts. You know, so maybe your doctor does know something about it. If they don't, they can research it. But there are things that can help with that, you know. And again, I'm not a doctor, so I don't want to say what a lot of those things are, but people have reported, you know, taking, you know, gabapentin. I've known people to get on Suboxone and then taper off of Suboxone under the care of a doctor. And if you're taking an amount like 900 capsules, you know, I would say that might be a move that you want to explore, is getting some professional help with that. But, you know, try the taper first. Give it a shot for a few days. Get back on here. Let us know what you've experienced so far, and I'll try my best, man, to guide you throughout it. Again, I'm not a physician, so my help and what I'm willing to say and to advise you to do is only going to go so far, because I don't have any medical background. I'm just a guy who has used a lot of opiates in my life, and I've kind of learned from the school of hard knocks. I've done a lot of research on it for my own benefit, trying to, you know, maintain, cope, cold turkey my own, you know, withdrawals. But outside of that, I don't have any specific medical knowledge on it. But let us know how we can help you, Marcus. I definitely feel like you need to curtail your relationship with Kratom here, because 900 capsules absolutely is a lot in a given week. But let me know how I can help you more with that, my man, okay? And good luck. The second one I want to read is at James H 3527. James says, never knew I had a problem. Started taking about 10 grams a day and ended up at 30 grams a day 2 years later. Didn't decide to quit, but my supply was disrupted and I was forced into a cold turkey situation. Never even knew this stuff caused withdrawals. It was pretty bad. Taking care of the house, wife, kid, and work while dealing with it was hell. Zero sleep. Anyways, 10 days later and feeling good again. Doubt I'll pick it back up. Not worth it for me. See? It's another example right here. There's levels to this shit. You know, there's people like James who have a little bout with it and they're like, well, damn, I wasn't expecting that. Damn. You can pick up this shit at a gas station or at any local head shop. I would have thought it would have given me withdrawals like this. Are you serious? You know, some people get blindsided by that shit. They hear about this Kratom, well, you try some of this, it'll relax you, you know. And then people start a relationship with it and start taking it, and the next thing you know, they're hooked on it, and they've fallen into that Kratom trap where when they go to stop taking it, oh shit, what? I don't feel very good. Damn, I don't feel very good now. Even physically, I don't feel very good. Well, let me take some more, you know, and oh, cool, you know, I feel better now, you know. And then they get locked into this loop where they're taking it just to now feel normal, you know, not to even to feel good anymore, just to feel normal at baseline. And it sounds like James got caught into that, but look at the levels, you know, 30 grams per day. He got up to 30 grams per day. Decided this shit ain't working. I'm gonna have to take care of this. His supply chain got disrupted and he was forced into a cold turkey situation, so he kind of didn't have a choice, you know, and he took it and he did it. And now he's like, you know what, now that I'm glad that's over with. Whew, I'm probably not gonna fuck with that again. And I don't blame him, you know. And you know, this is something that reminds me of my Vicodin Percocet addictions back in the day. I myself was kind of forced into it as well, you know, because I didn't have a prescription for it. The times that I did get prescriptions for it, I eventually got so bad on them that I had an attack of conscience, or God spoke to me, or whatever you want to call it. At least one time I actually typed a letter to my doctor and said, I am abusing these Percocets that you are prescribing me every month. Please do not prescribe me anymore. And I put that shit in the mail and sent it to the doctor. And the next time I went to the doctor, she looked at me and she was like, well, you know, I can't give you any more Percocets, right? Because of the letter you sent. And I was like, yes, ma'am. And so we just went from there, you know. But listen, my addiction didn't stop there. I still was finding ways to get them, and mainly stealing them like from my parents, because my parents used to, you know, get regular prescriptions of them. But I was kind of forced into it, you know, because it got to a point where I had been caught so many times stealing it by my parents, to the point where my parents had to lock up their medications. I asked them to lock up their medications in a safe because I couldn't stop taking them, because I was that bad on them, right? And so when it came to Percocets and Vicodins, I was kind of in a similar sort of situation. Like, I just had to. It was just too hard to get them. I didn't have the money to keep getting them. I didn't have enough of a steady supply of them to feed my, you know, what do you call it? My voracious appetite for the narcotics. You know, there's no way that I could possibly get enough, whether it be on the street or from a doctor, in one day to satisfy my voracious appetite and my addiction for these things. You know, ain't no doctor going to prescribe you 30 Percocets in one day. Ain't no doctor going to prescribe you 500 Percocets a month. You know, I mean, this is at my highest, this is probably, you know, pushing up towards the amount that I was taking. I mean, there were times I literally was taking 20 Vicodin and or Percocet in one day. And so I was kind of like that. I was kind of forced out of. So, you know, Kratom being a relapse situation for me, it was a situation where I became to understand that it was absolutely a relapse, but it also made me understand that I didn't have to be in a situation where I was forced out of addiction to take the way out. Because Kratom, I don't have to steal Kratom. I can go to any head shop and I can buy Kratom, and I can buy enough Kratom to feed the addiction that I have as well. And I don't go broke doing it, because my wife and I both make enough money. So this is a situation where I'm having to make the conscious choice to come off of the Kratom, because I just realized that it's not the best thing for my life, you know? But my first time to the rodeo with the Vicodin and Percocets, the circumstances surrounding my addiction really kind of made the choice for me. I was forced into, what do you call it? I was forced into rehab, basically, and to rehab myself. And I kind of didn't have a choice, but Kratom has made me realize that whether you're forced or not, you know, your relationship with opiates are always going to be the same, dude. So you better go ahead and get this under control now as a 47-year-old man, because you've been living like this way too long, you know, and that's kind of where I'm at. The next comment is at John Sullivan 9608. Day 22 cold turkey quit after 5 years of 30 to 50 gram use by the end. Insomnia and dreams, nightmares the first couple of days. This particular video, I was talking about how I was having a lot of night terrors. When you start to cut down your dose like that, your dreams just get super wicked, man. The first couple of days were the worst of the night terrors, he says. I don't even know if it was really sleep or more like semi-consciousness. I get that. I was there last night. I swore someone that I work with was sitting on the edge of my bed having a whole conversation during one of the first nights. Dude, that's wild. That's wild. This is the kind of shit that these opiates cause you to experience during your nighttime sleep or supposed rest patterns. Wasn't sure if it really happened. Like you, vivid dreams with people I haven't thought of for years visited my dreams, nightmares. Took about 2 weeks to get a decent night's sleep. Yep. I've had people message me on this channel, I was seeing so-and-so for this long and I never had any withdrawals at all. I slept fine the very first night. I'm like, then you damn sure weren't taking them like I was taking them, brother. Because if you were taking them like I was taking them and you quit, you ain't gonna sleep fine the first night. You ain't gonna sleep fine the second night. You ain't gonna sleep fine the third night. you probably ain't gonna sleep fine the 4th night, and you're probably not gonna sleep fine for the first 7, 8, or 9 nights. Because for me, I did not, just like this gentleman here, I did not get a full night's sleep until probably the 2-week mark. Literally, probably somewhere between 12 and 14 days, I finally closed my eyes and slept for, you know, a good period of like 4, 5, 6 hours, something like that. Now once that happens, once you get to that point, it consecutively, incrementally gets better, day after day after day after day. But for that first 2 weeks, man, I barely slept when I did the cold turkey. It was just, it's like a living nightmare, literally. But thanks for that comment, dude. And apparently he's still off of them, because he said it took about 2 weeks to get a decent night's sleep. Yeah, he said he's day 22 cold turkey, after 5 years of 30 to 50 milligram use. So hey, dude, John, thank you, brother, for the comment, and you're freaking doing it, and I hope you continue on the same path. I'm gonna read one more, and then I'm gonna get out of here. This one right here hit me, man. This guy Scott Smith 805 says, Kratom has been really helpful for me. I've had a drug problem on and off my whole life. The latest was after my wife was diagnosed with cancer, and I had an unlimited supply of opiates around me. Kratom was instrumental in me getting off of opiates, and it also helps me with my mood and depression. I'm up to about 50 grams a day, and I know that's too much, so I'm going to start to taper and get down to a more reasonable amount. I've heard with Kratom, less is more. Your videos have been very helpful. Thank you. Scott, let me take my glasses off for this one. I'm sorry about your wife, bro. And I hope that your wife is good now. I actually responded to your comment asking that question, you know, praying that everything is good with her now. All of the shitty things that I've been through in my life, most of them have been self-inflicted. And I've never had to deal with anything like someone really close to me like that getting diagnosed with cancer. I hope your wife is in remission. I hope that cancer has completely receded and is completely gone from her. And your comment really touched me. And yeah, man, I can understand that, you know, having opiates all around you like that, that just has to be something that's very difficult for somebody who struggled with drug addiction. And I can relate to that. You know, both my parents take narcotic medications. Now, they don't abuse them the way I abuse them, but that was a really, really, really big trigger for me during the years of my most active drug addiction, is the fact that every time I went to visit my parents, I knew that there were Vicodins in the house. I knew that there were Percocets in the house. Earlier on, before they got those, there were Darvocets in the house, or there were Tylenol 3s, had Klonopins. I mean, just my parents had a pharmacy. You know, they still do have a pharmacy, but fortunately, thanks to Kratom and thanks to being off of those medications for a while now, it's been a long time since I've taken something from them, so I'm proud to say that. But anyway, brother, I want to take my glasses off and look right into the camera for that. I really appreciate that comment. Hope everything's okay with your wife, and if you need any further advice, you know, anybody on here, talk to Scott. Talk to Scott about the taper, how you can taper, a good way to go about it. You know, I would say just start small. If you're on 50 grams per day, you know, cut it back to where you're taking 46, 47 grams per day, and just stay with that. Try to remain focused and stay with that, and try to chop it down incrementally. If you get to a point where you're maybe not able to do that, you might have to do a shitty cold turkey withdrawal, or go see a doctor. You know, and there's ways that doctors can help to edge you off of those things, especially when you're on higher amounts like that. But anyway, I really appreciate that comment, brother, and I'll be thinking about you, and update us on, you know, where your wife is at this point, with, you know, being in remission, hopefully, with the cancer and everything. But There's another one there's a guy that stopped spying on me, 9210. I'm not gonna get a chance to get to his comment today, but I'm gonna get to your comment next week. I've been a little long-winded as usual, and he had a really good comment on here. You know, this just goes to show you people are at all different levels, man. There's different levels to this shit, you know. And stop spying on me he's where I was a couple of months ago, where I felt like because it was too hard to completely come off of it, I kind of started rationalizing in my own brain, well, maybe it's not that bad, you know. Maybe it's cool, maybe it's okay to be on it for a while, you know. Maybe it's okay to be on something like Kratom, you know. The only reason, he says here, is it the drugs are bad campaign from my childhood the reason that I want to quit? You know, he even makes that comment in here. He's where I was at. You know, you're where I was at, you know, because we do that when it starts to get too hard, and you start to really try to rationalize all the reasons that it's bad versus the reasons that it's good. You rationalize the pros versus the cons. These are the reasons it's bad for me. These are the benefits. Which one is heavier? You know, and we get to that point, and when we start getting weak-minded and we're afraid to make that jump, and it starts getting tough and the withdrawals start hurting and you can't go a day without even doing one speck of your taper, then you start just going, well, maybe it's not that bad. Is it really not that bad? Or is that just your mind's way of coping with and dealing with the fact that you weren't able to be successful in that day? I know what it was for me. What is it for you, my dude? You know, but I'm going to address your comment the next time at Stop Spying on Me, because you're in it, man. You're in it, and I can tell that you want to figure this thing out and you want to take steps forward, but I feel like you're struggling right now. And hey, we've all been there, dude. We've all been there. I'm still there. You know, I'm not speaking to you off of some high horse where I'm still taking 10 grams of Kratom per day myself. So anyway, I love you guys. Subscribe to the channel if you've not. Like the video, leave a comment down below, and we will see you next time. Have a great weekend. Peace.